know that in every single Carlos Sainz race, Russell's DNF'd? And every single Carlos Sainz win.
I know what you meant.
Really? I didn't know that.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Delta Time Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things F1. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a curious newcomer, we are your guide to navigating the ridiculousness that is Formula One.
Russell's car caught on fire last year in Australia.
Right, it did. Yes.
Russell lit his car on fire this year.
That city that doesn't like cars. Yeah.
Russell can't be doing that shit on the last.
Be easy before we get too into it.
All right.
We need some madness minutes, some minute of madness from Michael.
I can provide.
So let's get into it. Michael, take it away.
Hey, what's up? They're racing in Melbourne. They had two racers there from Melbourne. That's cool, I guess. I should go there one day. Alpine, unserious F1 team. Sauber, also unserious F1 team. Williams, this is like one of those road trips where everybody's like excited on the way back, on the way there, then on the way back, everybody drives back in like stewed silence. Haas, both in the points. I had to double check that was correct. Carbs, Yuki, P7, good carbs today. Ricciardo, P12. Oh dear. Mercedes, holy shit. Aston Martin, Stroll, P6, good job. Stewart's ruled that Alonso threw a banana outside of his cockpit, penalized on the P8. Red Bull, Perez, a disappointing P5, that makes sense. And Max's rear rape duct was as mad about missing the Sebring 12 hours he was. McLaren, P3, P4, they're real. Ferrari, Forza Ferrari, grazie ragazzi, 1-2, excellent work from both of them. But Carlos reminds everybody that he actually might be the best driver in Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, we've known that since last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only person to get a podium besides Checo and Max.
No, Charles podiumed in Vegas last year.
I mean, P1.
Win.
P1,
Yeah. No, it's I think losing his appendix made him faster for sure.
Yes.
So it
all prospective drivers. You got an appendix. You're fucking waste of time.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I won't even look at you now.
Oh no, I'm frozen. Oh no.
How much weight is an appendix anyways? Like 10 grams or something?
It's 5 milligrams actually.
See.
Oh my goodness.
The minimum weight of an appendix is 1 gram, and maximum weight is 8 grams.
That sounds uncomfortable. As someone who still has this, as far as I'm aware. So,
that's not a whole lot of weight.
I like the stitches would be the bigger deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a picture here of Carlos slapping Charles Leclerc on the butt. That's what you're into.
What?
There's some pictures from the Ferrari light celebration, and I think Charles was either he's like running around something, and I think based on what I'm gathering here, I think Carlos meant to slap him on the back but aimed too low. And the picture, as it was taken, is of his hand on Charles's butt. So that's what you're into. I can vibe.
They're European. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, how did like kiss? That'd be more European. That's more American.
Europeans are touchy-feely people. In my opinion.
They intend definitely more than Americans. So
Just watch out for the double kiss.
We just hate each other.
Or the triple. Sometimes they come back around again.
Yeah.
They come back at the second cheek and needs a little love in it twice.
Yeah. Sounds like a personal experience.
It was surprising.
But
not unwelcome, but surprising.
Fair, as long as you specify. But yeah, no, I mean,
wish they would have warned me first, but they did not.
Right. I mean, I was more upset that I just wanted Max to stay in it because I think it would have been a great fight. He was in great form in general, and I think that there is no reason to think that he couldn't have come close to, if not won on true merit or strategy, with Red Bull fully in it with Max. Obviously, Perez just not there.
I'm reading an article here that there might have been another brake duct issue on the other Red Bull.
So he's nursing it
from a errant visor.
Yeah, that's.
So it is new car issues.
Potentially.
But Jeff, I agree with you. I as much as like Max is winning too much, and I'm okay with seeing him out. At the same time, like I would rather him through competition rather than technical.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With that said, it was cooler though.
It was a very, I guess not exciting, but it was surprising. It was like, oh, this is actually happening, because we've said it so many times. The only way he's gonna lose is if he's gonna have difficulty with the car or something crazy is gonna happen, and that's what happened.
Hashtag win or die. Yeah. But it was interesting enough that I started watching sector times again. So, which does not happen during a Verstappen race these days. So.
No, I agree. It was just good to see a different, it was nice to actually have there be competition at the front part of the grid, and not just be like, what's going on in the middle? Like what morsels can we find that like make this interesting? It actually was top 5. Who could it be? Is Alonso gonna like come out of nowhere and get first with a crazy strategy? And it's just like, no, it's gonna work out to be what we think it will be. But at the same time, it was still interesting the whole stretch. So I think that was really refreshing, even as a Red Bull fan, and to hate to see a DNF in any way, shape, or form. Like, it just sucks. And it's just like, then just have Mercedes fully go out too. It just was like, what the hell? Like, it's just, this is one of those, it's almost like a meme, like from back in the day when, even when Mercedes was being super dominant, someone's just like, all right, what do we need to have a good race? And it's like both Mercedes and Red Bull out of the race, and then we can have a good, a good unexpected race. But yeah, I just it was interesting. And then Haas, Magnussen, now that I can get behind. Like I'm okay with that kind of driving and that kind of like, racecraft. That was the appropriate way to where I'm like, yes, Kevin is great and like super good at what he does. That pass on Albon was great, and then he stayed in front of him the whole rest of the race. So
sorry, that's not you. I was looking at the onboard of Fernando's when Russell crashed, and I'm like, no, Russell lost that car himself.
Yeah.
Like, Fernando might have broke it a little bit, but like Russell lost that car. But we'll get to it. That's why I made it.
Oh, okay. Because I was just like, because what I said stands from the other week of like, oh, go ahead.
I was like, if it's gonna come up, so I'm like, let me look at the data. Let me look at the video before you discuss it. And I made a face involuntarily.
Fair enough. You're good. You're good. But I was just like, that was the whole thing. Is like, there's no question with Hulkenberg, like he's able to extract the maximum out of whatever car he's in, whereas sometimes with Magnussen it's hit or miss whether or not it's true skill or if it's just like sheer luck of the situation or whatever. And this was definitely a skill situation, and I thought he looked really good. And like the pass on Albon, as much as I like Albon, I was just like, all right, yeah, that kind of driving I can fully respect and like be like, that was a great drive by him.
I feel like Albon was probably kind of on edge about crashing in practice. It was the same. He crashed the same corner in 2023.
Yeah.
During the race, and he crashed again in practice in the same corner.
Yeah.
So now he's taking over for Sargent, and he's in the only car they have with no spare chassis. Like, he's got to be driving like he's on thin ice at that point.
Oh, I think you're right. I think there's an aspect to that like is definitely a factor, because not only is he less confident because of what you just said about what's happened in the past and what's happened literally this weekend or this week, but he literally took a seat from Sargent, and it's not his chassis. Like, there's also those factors too. Like, you got to get used to, your car is built for you. That car was built for Logan. It's not built for both of them. And then you just put a cockpit in there.
Right.
So, Yeah, no, I know. But yeah. So, anyways, kudos to Haas and getting the two cars in the points, and
I mean, like that is what they're supposed to be doing when this shit happens. When the top of the grid falls out.
I know.
Take advantage of that shit.
Was that
So,
we had 4 cars out, 3 top cars,
and then Sargent, and then Albon's other chassis. So yeah. So technically it's 4 cars.
Yeah. But I just mean 3 that actually might no offense,
3
would
that actually matter. Yes.
On my predictions, I had Sargent as falling out first, as being the first one to not finish.
That's hilarious.
Like, God damn it! It's like too early. Like, not now.
Man, that's gonna fuck them around for a while. Not permanently, hopefully, but it was fucking for a while.
I don't think Sargent will be around much longer.
I mean, that's kind of what they told him, right? Like, if he was close to Alex's equal, they would have given him the drive, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's like on one hand you see where Wolves is coming from, on the other hand, fucking hell, that's nobody's happy about that.
No.
But they also understand why it's happening.
Yeah.
Also, nobody's happy about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's
and they didn't get points in the end, so it's even worse now.
Yeah, I think that's
gonna be a very silent plane around way back.
And that's probably the biggest issue too, is that there's no points after the fact, because you can get behind the analytics if it actually yields you points, but but if it doesn't, then it's like, well, what'd we do this for? And then the following the plan is no longer as feasible as it seemed before.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a pace problem or was it an Alex problem. I wasn't following them that closely after Max DNF, everything else went out the window. So
Well, like I said, I think it had a lot to do with Albon confidence, because I feel like leaving Sargent in may have actually been the better call, because he would have had more confidence because he didn't crash his car 2 years in a row.
And something to prove, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which could have been worse. They could have crashed and they both have to pay double.
But looking at
chassis fees.
Looking at driver stats, I can understand the call. So 50-50 for me.
Has Logan scored points ever? Good question. Hold on.
Thanks.
I thought he did last year, because I thought they made a big deal about it. But I think it's just a perfect example of the difference between analytics and intangibles in real life that really make the difference. And when you see those decisions be made, and there's just that gut feeling of like, oh, this feels wrong, just because of the the human aspect of it, I guess, to an extent. And if it works out, the numbers and the analytics side totally makes sense and it's easy to get behind. But when it doesn't work out, you're like, see, I knew there was something. There was like a reason my gut was saying don't do that. And that could just be, the fact of just 50-50 situation of, if it doesn't work out, then obviously it was a bad call, and if it does work out, then it was a good call, kind of a thing.
And they rolled the dice and it didn't work out. And that's unfortunate, considering 3 surefire point scorers were out of that race.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of everything lined up for them to get points and they couldn't get points, which is a terrible, terrible spot to be in.
Yeah. And that was the bummer.
But at the same time, like Michael said, they had the 50-50 chance of either driver crashing the car, and then they wouldn't have had a chassis for next GP.
Yeah, and you picked the best driver, which was Alex.
Yeah.
And in the process, you understand you're fucking Logan. But that's for the good of you're fucking him for the good of the team, essentially.
Sounds so wrong.
It doesn't make it any better, I don't think.
It doesn't, but it's sometimes the truth is ugly. Also, that's also the truth. Logan scored a 1 point last season in Austin, of all places. And just to be hilarious, Alex scored 2 points in that race by himself. So when you run the numbers, it made sense they did what they did. It just didn't work out.
Yeah. And
that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's for sure. But yeah, and Alpine, what do they mean? What's happening?
Alpine and Sauber, they're freaking pit stops, dude.
Well, and
Unserious teams.
Sauber literally has something that's potentially illegal. Like their nut, the wheel nut for their car is supposedly not attached properly. So like that's
What?
it. Literally like
That's the issue then.
Mm-hmm. And so like there's literally footage of them doing a pit stop, and like you can see this like piece come off the front wheel. That's why Bottas got called into the stewards at the end of the race. And so yeah, there's apparently like big issues with that's why they are having issues with their pit stops and stuff. And yeah, of all the things, right? I mean, but I guess like when you're focusing on the macro things, the micro kind of are harder to get lined up, I guess.
Probably.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm hoping that Audi's like looking at this and like, we got plans. Or
Audi just bought a larger stake of Sauber too, didn't they?
I think they did. Yeah, because they're basically like saying like we're all in. I think they're getting annoyed by the whole like Andretti should come in, kind of a thing.
Probably.
But yeah, I'm hoping that they're just like watching this and they're like, yeah, we can make this better, because I think they can, but I definitely think they need to make some adjustments, because good Lord, whoever is making decisions over at Kick are not making the right kicking decisions.
Boy, howdy
As of right now, I don't see signs going to that team.
No,
not without a couple more zeros on that contract.
Yeah, a couple more zeros and like some guarantees that they're gonna bring some like veteran. Adrian Newey's coming over or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
maybe a second company car.
Even with that much money though, the way Sainz is performing lately, I feel like you can't really pay him enough to go to a bottom grid team.
Probably right.
Yeah.
Right. Like he can sit out a year and being like, I'm chilling. So when one of y'all want to win a race, you let me know, and then you can go from there. He doesn't have to take a lower seat.
Yeah, exactly.
He's showing that he is arguably better than his teammate, which is an argument you wouldn't have made in 2022.
Yeah, so front of the grid driver now.
He is a possibly championship caliber driver. Which championship? Maybe both of them. Fuck, I don't like. He's a fantastic driver. He's gotten better too.
Yeah.
I think maybe he goes to Mercedes. Tim and Hamilton.
If Mercedes were smart, yes.
Yeah. But how crazy would it be if Ferrari's just like, we decided, just kidding, take backs. we're gonna keep Sainz. Hamilton.
I'm gonna guess that someone's lawyers will not be happy.
Yeah, I know it's never.
But at that point, Sainz is
or
already
happy about that because they'll be on retention. So.
But at that point, Sainz is already burned.
Yeah.
So there's trust issues now.
No, it would never happen.
Want to undo your morale.
It'd just be really funny, just like, so we were thinking,
Hamilton as reserve driver for Ferrari.
$40 million reserve driver. I'm sure they'll fucking love that encounter.
Yeah, that's 100%. I think the way they should go with it. No, but yeah, it just seems unfitting for Hamilton to be dealing with the stuff he's dealing with this third car, this third iteration. They still can't seem to figure it out. I just don't. I don't understand.
George's gonna be figuring it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Until he
we're just curious.
Crashes
and
in the wall.
Kamikazes it.
Yeah,
that.
So what are your thoughts?
Board, right?
Yeah.
Kamikazes it on the last lap.
Nando was being cheeky, but that was George's fault. Here's the thing. As a chimney sweet racer, if you're following a car, you have to be ready to react to what that car does, even make no goddamn sense. if I'm following a car in a race and that car does some weird shit and I lose control of my car, that's my fault. If the other car does some weird stuff, I people can stay on top of my car and keep control of it and adjust to that. And it seems like Russell was pushing so hard that when Nando did anything off kilter, his car couldn't handle it. So I disagree with that penalty entirely. Because it wasn't he broke maybe a little earlier than he should have, and then threw it into the corner. And I think Russell's car just couldn't handle it.
Wait, penalty? Nando got a penalty?
Yeah, Fernando got penalized on the P8.
I didn't know that.
He got 20-second penalty, like this morning, I think.
Holy shit!
I thought you guys knew about that.
No,
because Russell crashed.
Yeah. Yes, they're saying
because Russell crashed.
They're saying that Fernando moved in a unsportsmanlike manner that then induced the driver behind him to lose control of his car.
Oh my god!
I'll find the stewards release.
I would have been way more freaking aggro if I knew this sooner.
That's so dumb.
That's so stupid. That was just Russell being Russell again.
Remember when I made a face?
Yeah, no,
that was me watching the onboard after with that knowledge. I'm like,
no.
Really? That?
No, it all makes sense.
That's what it was?
Good lord. Oh my god.
I thought you were professionals. Come on now.
I mean, no.
I just woke up.
I'm a moron. That's why I do this.
I woke up at literally 9:55. Yeah. Come on now.
This is more for me to get extra information from you guys than anything else. Like, I don't...
Same. I didn't know Alonso got a penalty. But if you're Russell, you know your teammate's out. Like, you gotta play it safe and get the points at that point.
Yeah, be the savior that you know you are.
Especially on the last lap, dude. Like,
Alonso Ricciardo Code 33.4 regulation states, at no time may a car be driven necessarily slow, erratically, or in a manner which could be deemed potentially dangerous to other drivers or any person. That's a ticky-tack judgment call.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
So,
yeah.
But 20 seconds?
Telemetry shows that Alonso lifted slightly more than 100 meters earlier than he ever had going into that corner during the race. He also brakes very slightly at that point, and he did not usually brake, although the amount of brake was so slight it was not the main issue with this car slowing.
Wait,
and
what?
He downshifted at a point he usually never downshifted before. He then upshifted again, accelerated to the corner before lifting again to make the corner. Whatever.
So he's racing? I don't understand. I'm confused.
They're saying that he lifted and coasted too far, and then made the car do weird stuff, and then that unsettled Russell behind him. And to that I say, tough. You're a professional race car driver. Control your car.
What? No.
They got it.
I don't know that either.
That just sounds like you're describing a driver going into a corner, like
a little slower than usual. The horror.
Okay, is he trying to charge his battery for a fastest lap attempt? Like what?
It was the last lap, apparently.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there are so many situations that that would be justified. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, there's
Maybe
no.
It's a brake issue. It's
my goodness.
It to me is like it. Looking at it from both Russell's and Alonso's perspective, I don't see how he did anything where I'd be like, no, that was dangerous. It's more to be like, no, you should have reacted better to that. Professional race car driver.
Elite professional race car driver.
If he was driving slower.
Alleged elite professional race car driver.
If he was driving slower, then Russell should have had more opportunity to overtake then.
That's how I feel. It's like, okay, then you just stay on his ass until that corner, because the following corner is like what? The longest straight on the racetrack that has DRS, and you're in DRS anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're patient, you'll get them anyway. Maybe if your car is as good as theirs, which is debatable, I guess.
Well, the penalty is almost like he tried to give Russell an easy pass and then didn't.
They're saying that he upset Russell's entry by lifting and coasting, and then by braking a little bit.
Gotcha.
Which I feel like I said is cheeky. I don't think like it's dangerous though, but whatever.
I feel like that's what every driver is doing when they go into a corner, when there's multiple of them. That's why you have accidents.
I feel like Madison did that probably 8 times yesterday by himself.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about Haas, so no one noticed.
Very true. Very true. Well, I mean.
So yeah, he got penalized on the P8, whatever. They'll get added to the book of grudges, and he'll take care of that the following race. He'll be okay.
Yeah, well, the optics for that, I think it was worse for Russell than anything else, just to see
If his car wasn't on its side, they probably wouldn't have been as angry about it.
But just like
Because
fully,
to be fair,
just
where he crashed, he was pretty exposed.
yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's totally reasonable, but I'm just saying the optics of it all is like he's literally like perpendicular to the track, like he's taking up the most space you could take up for an accident, and it was on the last lap of the race, so it's just like it was very Latifi-esque. I'm not saying that like it was a Latifi truly like accident, but it was just like just for the timing of it all and just like the amount of carnage that what ensued was just very poetic in a way.
Did you two know that in every single Carlos Sainz race, Russell's DNF? And every single Carlos Sainz win.
I know what you meant.
Really?
That's-
I didn't know that.
Well, and that was the funny part is like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh my god, he rolled it. He like rolled over and like
Yeah, it
I
looked
just
dangerous.
yeah, I had like an image of it just like rolling several times, and then when I watched the replay of so when I saw what Michael just described, it's just like, oh, okay, that just kind of sucks.
And then daintily tipped over at a really inconvenient angle. Yeah. But yeah,
It did look like it happened in like slow motion at that point.
Yeah.
Fernando penalized. I think it's fake news. Whatever. He will come back and make F1 great again.
Yeah.
But yeah. But honestly, for a race that had Max Verstappen DNF, kind of a boring race. All things considered.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because Sainz kind of just took the place of Verstappen and ran with it.
Yeah.
If I end up on Zillow during a race, you know it can't be that interesting.
What are you doing on Zillow? Looking for you gonna buy a house soon?
If the market ever becomes
Where are you looking? Mesa?
affordable first and then good after that, which is
Right.
difficult in and of itself.
Yeah.
But that's another matter entirely. But yeah, no, Carlos, fucking fantastic job.
Yeah.
Amazing job for him.
Yeah.
He is showing he is that dude.
Well, and
He has gone from being Ferrari's second, he's going from being Lando's best friend to that dude.
yeah, yeah. And speaking of Lando, I mean, he's gonna get second or first one of these days. He's gonna break.
Who would have thought that Carlos Sainz would have been better than Lando Norris?
No, I mean, you remember when he first made the switch to Ferrari, and there were just all the jokes of like, "You sure you made the right choice?" Like,
Right.
like.
But no, Carlos is that dude. Like it is always cool to look back and like say, hey, this guy got better, and Carlos got better. Like Carlos is probably right now a championship caliber driver.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. You want to win as constructors, you want him on your team.
Well, his DNA is, second to none from a standpoint of skill, and from the type of skill, I think that kind of rally racing and that place lends itself to like an adaptation and stuff like that, which I think makes you an even better driver. And, it just seems like Carlos is always learning and, adding aspects of other people's driving styles to his driving style, and like just completely always evolving. And like it seemed like not even like seemed like yesterday or whatever that you're looking at Leclerc and you're just like, oh yeah, he's easily better than Carlos. Carlos is good, but I mean, Leclerc's the best,
Yeah,
and
he's the number one.
yeah, and now you're just like, I mean, what kind of track are we at? What did FP 1, 2, and 3 look like between the two of them? Like, I don't really know which one I would pick, if I done. If you're asking me on quali and I didn't have any of that information, I'd be like, I don't know, flip a coin. Like,
it's a good problem to have.
yeah, for
It's a
sure.
good problem to have, and it seems like Fred Vasseur has that team where it needs to be. It seems like he is that dude as well.
Yeah,
In a way that Benazzo was not, apparently, because it's like, Steve, you joked, but ordinarily they would have fucked that up somehow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
There's
saying.
a history of fucking that up somehow, and they did their jobs. The best driver fell out. They took advantage of it, and they reaped benefits.
Yep.
Beautiful
Yeah.
work. That's professional. That is a serious F1 team.
Yep. They didn't make Sainz give up the place for Charles. They didn't do some stupid tire strategy.
No, they kind of let. I mean, there wasn't any real fight there. Like Sainz had to pace that entire race. So.
Right, but like we said, like it wouldn't be too far beyond Ferrari to do something like that.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, Racing Bulls got their first points thanks to Daniel Ricciardo. Oh wait, no, not thanks to Daniel Ricciardo. Thanks to Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki's good. People forget Yuki's driven a dog shit car his entire career.
Yeah.
If you give him a car that can actually get something done, he'll get you points routinely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly what taking advantage of.
You can't say the same about him.
No, seemed to be the better car you give him, the worse he performs. Unfortunately.
Apparently, yeah.
So.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
only they know. Only they know what's going on over there.
Even your home, it's your home race, dude.
Yeah.
Piastri was doing amazing.
I mean, much better car.
I don't know what Ricciardo's doing.
Yeah. Well, and granted, if he'd not had his lap nullified in qualifying, he would have started higher, which might have helped him a little bit because he did have some good passes, but that was what.
What was the grounds for that? I didn't read why that happened.
Track limits.
Track limits.
Yeah.
Oh, so skill issue.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood.
I figured you were being cheeky.
Yeah, cheeky, honest, truthful. You're
They can all be the same.
Mean,
they can all be one and the same.
Let's break it down. If he had not gotten track limits, would the lap had counted?
What?
Yes, it would have.
If he had not gotten a track limit penalty, would the lap have counted?
Yes.
Oh, skill issue.
But even then, I think if he started up higher, he still would have lost places.
Yeah.
Maybe not. The fact is, it's a skill issue. If that lap counts and he doesn't mess up over the track, you're not in this conversation at all. So do your job, professional race car driver.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're saying is speculation in that regard anyways, but
yeah.
I feel like with the way he drove, still losing places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only him and the people with dad over there know what's going on with him. So all we can tell is that Yuki is the better driver. Full stop. If he wasn't, he'd be better than him, but he's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Just needs to quit and go into like the media aspect of it and just stay there.
He's definitely taking someone's spot right now.
Yeah, media or
Liam Larson's.
Yeah, media or NASCAR, circuit racing, some sort of IndyCar.
It's just like considering how short their leash was with DeVries. What excuse did they not have to do the same thing to Daniel?
Yep.
He'd buy halfway through the season if he's not performing, when he has less excuse than DeVries does.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Which we're on race 3, so might be being a little.
Yeah, no. Race
hasty,
3, no. But if by race 9, we're starting this conversation.
Right.
That's different.
Right. No, fair.
I'm saying if this is how he needs to go on, then grab right now and have him go in the PR and then put Liam in that seat.
Yeah.
But if by race 9 you're having the same conversation, then you have to do it. Otherwise, you're hypocrites. But
Agreed.
Red Bull wouldn't be hypocrites, would they?
Of course not.
No. Upstanding, absolute gems.
Upstanding citizens who love Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard that came up in the WhatsApp screenshots
Good lord.
during the leak.
Yeah.
A little right nipple.
You can't tell if it's a finger or not.
Yeah. No, I just.
Everybody got post their fingers in the chat.
If only we had that kind of following.
That motherfucker. God damn it. That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, then the fact that he does it himself is like, and that turned into them telling me to do my finger, which of course I did.
I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I did it.
And then I did it.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
My goodness.
That's fucking funny.
Well, what do we have for race rewind with you, Steve?
Oh man, so Australia 2023 was absolute chaos. If you guys remember, there was I think 3 red flags and at least 1 safety car, 3 restarts and 1 rolling restart right at the end. We had Max get his first P1 podium in Australia, his first starting P1 in Australia. But then as soon as they took off, Russell overtook Verstappen right away, and then Hamilton overtook Verstappen. So they led for about 12 laps. Then Russell pitted just before Albon's yellow flag, and so he lost a shit ton of places because of that, and then he ends up DNFing because of his car technical difficulty. Leclerc DNF'd on the first lap. Let's see. Go through the list here. Aston Martin, Alonso finished P3, P4. Mercedes, Russell DNF, Hamilton finished P2. Sainz finished P12 because he got a 5-second penalty on the third restart for contact with Alonso.
Yeah, remember that one.
Leclerc DNF'd. Alpine, Ocon, and Gasly contact on the third restart, knocked each other out.
Yeah, that was funny.
Haas, Magnussen DNF'd on the third restart because of contact. Hulkenberg finished P7. AlphaTauri, we had Tsunoda finish P10. Vries DNF'd, contact on the third restart.
Hilarious.
Alfa Romeo finished Zhou P9, Bottas P11. McLaren finished Piastri P8, Norris P6. Williams, Albon hit the same corner he hit this year in practice. So he DNF'd, and then Sargent DNF'd because of contact on the third restart also.
Yeah, that was a proper mess, that was.
Definitely a race to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, a little more excitement than maybe this one.
Only 12 cars finished that race,
which is rare nowadays. That's not very common. Like, reliability is so good in modern F1 that something like Max hit Max's car down on him it was actually shocking.
Yeah.
Well, besides Russell's DNF last year, all the rest of them were because of contact or hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Because of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But even now, like back in Saudi, like Piastri during qualifying literally bounced his car off the wall and like set the fastest time at that moment. Like it's like, holy crap! Like you expect that A-arm to crumble, and it's just like they've figured it out.
In Monaco, he hit the wall on the last corner.
Yeah.
His pinball quali.
Yeah. Sliding into home.
Speaking of Max, I put a link in Discord. Not only is Max upset that he lost that race, he's upset that he missed this too.
All right, go look.
What is?
This is the iRacing Cerberus 12 hours.
God damn it!
This is the highlight of the last 6 hours of it.
So he's mad because he had to miss that because of his other race that was supposed to be going on.
You joke? Probably actually. Knowing that fucking weirdo, he's probably more upset he missed this than he lost the race.
Well, I mean, with his track record in Australia, he probably was just like, yeah, typical Australia for me.
It's like I won it last year. I don't give a fuck anymore. I like fucking 12-hour Sebring, bro. They have rain now,
Pretty
bro.
much. Yep.
They had the full weather forecast and shit the whole time. As you can see, the track's drying.
Oh my gosh.
It's like probably more excited for this than he was for fucking Australia.
Probably after qualifying, you're just like, yeah, I got this. We're good. I should just do my iRacing.
I just want to have tea parties and get in the rig,
yeah. So I was just gonna say, I just want to be at home on my rig.
I saw a meme.
And be occasionally accosted by a child telling me to drink tea.
I saw a meme recently that was from Verstappen's cockpit view, and it was like Red Bull announces their new upgrade, and it's the screen on his steering wheel is just the Netflix logo.
Yeah, exactly.
Ba-boom.
No, like I joke like it's like sometimes this man has to turn his audiobook off when GP messages him during a race.
Not in the reading.
No talking at the breaking.
Dude, come on now. God damn it.
So good. I love this part. Why are you interrupting me?
My gap is literally 20 seconons. Come on. When you're gonna get to 10, message me, okay? Until then, leave me alone.
Pretty much, dude.
Taking a page out of Kimi Räikkönen's book.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Also, how cool was it that we thought that Ferrari had the pace on the Red Bull until we found out Max's car died?
Yeah. I was like, oh,
It
damn.
was actually impressive for a moment.
Yeah, it was.
I know it was. And you're just like, we have a battle before DRS. Oh my god, we have a battle before DRS.
That's the pace. And
Well,
Charles. Max
when Max was not
and
pulling
Lando.
away.
and Oscar
Yeah.
and Lance.
What?
it was like you couldn't understand why he was dropping.
And then all of a sudden, you just see this plume of smoke come out the back of his.
No. Yeah. I switched to his onboard, so I'm like, oh, okay. Max is gonna get his ass. Switched to his onboard, and I looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, reason to get him, and then just like, and then the whole thing went hell in a handbasket really quickly. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. That's unlucky. Otherwise, he would have won that race. So.
I mean, I really just want to couple him coming to us, like slowing down for the pits, couple that with the correspondence with Lance and his crew member the other week when it's like, can you bring it back? Like, no, it's in the wall. Like, can you bring it back? Just exploding out the side, just like
His name this weekend is Max. You're stopping.
yeah, you're stopping for sure.
Max, you're stopping.
God. But anyways,
Ollie Behrman going
Mhm.
from F1 back to F2. How do you think that affected his driving in F2? Like, you're going from something like super fast down to like it's still fast, but not
He'll be fine.
totally different size car, totally different like feel. I know
As-
he's fine. I know he'll be fine, but
Yeah.
how do you guys think that affects him like driving like that?
If he's that good, it absolutely should. A race driver's job is to be able to adjust wherever they're driving and make that thing go fast. He's a race driver, so it shouldn't matter one iota.
if anything,
And also, again, as a chimney sweep, as someone who races like Super Formula, it's like Formula 2, and light races like Formula 3, you just adjust to it. You kind of remember, you have muscle memory of how the car feels, and after half an hour to an hour, you calibrate back to it. So
yeah, I think it's easier is not the right word, but like if I had to choose where the sliding scales going to, like going from F1 to F2 is not as hard as going from
Really?
F2 to F1, because
I would say it's harder because they have less downforce.
see, I think it's different because I think of it as like slowing down. Think about how much faster everything's happening at F1 versus F2. So you almost like, if you acclimate to F1 and you just had an F1 race, you get in an F2 car. It's kind of like when you're like on the freeway and then you get off the freeway and you're going 35 and you're like, oh, I just open this, I could just like get out, like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's that aspect, but then also just like, I think if you're that good that where you adapted to F1 easily or quickly, that's going to come back. I kind of attribute it to using different classes of cars in like Forza, because I'm not cool enough or have the time to get invested into iRacing. But like
It's a time.
time, yeah. If I'm racing like a hypercar or whatever, it's very much like fast twitch and like soft on the brakes so that, you know, everything is flowing really well. But if I jump down to like a D level car, which is, you know, a hatchback that is just a stock whatever, yes, that is a little bit weird initially, but once you dial it in, everything's so much slower that, you know, it's almost not easier, but it's more natural to like dial into that versus like going from that D level car into a hypercar. You're almost just like, whoa, this is too much. You almost need the gradual like go through the classes to get to that hypercar versus like go from the hypercar down to the low level. You can almost tune in, you know, more efficiently.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Again, I have to be biased here. Like, for example, I find the F4 car harder to drive than Super Formula car because I always forget I don't have quite as much downforce as I think I have.
Mm-hmm.
I expected to have more grip, and then it doesn't, and I get mad at myself, think, "Oh, you should know better, you idiot." While with the Formula car, I'm like, I know if I put my inputs the right way, I can throw this car anywhere I want to. And sometimes, if you're used to a certain amount of grip, or you like appreciate a certain amount of grip, you can kind of forget the kind of grip your car you have if your car is like similar, but just different enough to confuse you for a moment.
Yeah, but your horsepower is dramatically different though too. So like I'm just saying, like those scales start to like, it's how much how dramatic is that scale of like the handling aspect versus like the horsepower aspect? You think it's significant enough?
No, it's not. It's more like a very small difference, but
Okay,
ultimately,
that's fair.
as a professional race car driver, it should not matter at all what he's driving. He should be able to figure it out.
Agreed. I was just thinking about it because me and Tyler swapped motorcycles last week.
Oh yeah.
Dude, going from the 650 to the 300, it was just like, this is nothing compared to what I'm used to. Like, holy crap. Like,
You have so much more time now.
it's just like, well, it was more like, I don't know how much gas to give it so it doesn't stall because it's so much smaller. Like, there's
That's
all
setup
sorts
stuff.
of new, like, learning stuff. But I mean, Ollie's been driving F2 for a lot longer. He's been driving F1, so.
Yeah. Well,
I
found.
think he's had the most tests on the grid, though.
Oh really?
That would make sense.
I think so. I think I read that somewhere.
Well, in that regard, Steve, with going to a smaller bike, I think I was in more danger, or I've been in more danger on a what is it, 100cc like scooter,
Yeah.
because
125.
yeah, you're used to a motorcycle that just goes when you're like give it throttle, whereas like you give one of those things, like you literally give it full throttle and you're like, oh yeah, I've got to like walk it to get it to go to start, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm almost gonna die because this thing can't get out of its own way.
But see,
Exactly.
I could understand Tyler going from the 300 to the 650 though would be way easier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every vehicle has its quirks you have to get used to.
From that perspective, I think that's where it's kind of like a stepwise function to an extent of like you can almost have multiple cc's of a vehicle that are still in the same level of like it just continues to get easier to drive or do, but then you go up to like say 50 and 100 cc's is much different than like 200 cc's, so like that would be like where you'd start to really see that difference. So I think that's the deceiving part, is like you could go up in levels and it gets easier, but then there's a point where like the level that you've gone up, your skill level needs to have gone up as well.
100%. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, regardless, it was just nice to see some variety. It was crazy to see what? Go ahead.
I'm looking at this. I can look at the Sebring stuff still. And they switched to their safety car, and it said Poncho Watch, and I'm like, did they name their safety car Poncho? Because if so, fuck them. That's brilliant. And I made a face. So.
Did they?
I can't tell. They're switching things. They're switching stuff all over the place. They should though. That'd be funny. They should name safety cars now. That's an idea I just had.
All right, we'll start a campaign for it.
A cultural name that fits whatever race they're at.
Or,
Yeah.
you could sponsor name the safety car.
I love it. Well, again, it was just good to see some variety. Nice to see a Ferrari 1-2.
Yep, variety of Carlos Sainz winning, because you have not seen that before in the past calendar year, right?
Not this calendar year, yes.
Okay, Carlos Sainz winning, coming back from appendix surgery.
Yeah, I mean that's still pretty good.
That's cool shit. That's cool shit.
Yeah, and we almost had Nazi on the podium that didn't get their win or taken away from them. Like that was what we should have mentioned that. Ricciardo.
I feel like Norris had the pace though.
Oh yeah, no, he did.
He likes this pace, yeah.
No, I meant when Ricciardo did win the Australian Grand Prix and then got disqualified for his fuel. I think I forget what it. I think that was what it was. But anyways, because that's what they always say. They're like, if Piastri gets on the podium, he'll be the first Australian to legally be on the podium.
I thought you were talking about Piastri and Norris, them making the switch.
Yeah, no, that was kind of a non-issue in my opinion, because Lando definitely had the pace and he continued to have the pace. So yeah, made sense. A bummer, but I mean, they're doing what they should be doing. Like if you want to demonstrate that you're making improvements where you need to. Being one behind the other is a good way to keep your seat. Unlike Checo, who, again, brake issues. So if that was the case, then there's nothing he could have done. But you would think that Max going out just means that Checo should have been first. But
Yes.
Brake
Let
issue.
me see if I can find where I read that. I did read that this morning, but the internet. So
I don't know. Watching the Australia last year, Hamilton was complaining about his tire deg, and then he sets the fastest lap. So Checo complaining about brake issues. I don't know.
yeah,
well, he's not as blessed as Lewis is.
bless him. Yeah, no,
Okay. Motorsport Week. Horner reveals which tear off under Perez's floor caused significant loss. So, if we're taking that as a press release, then he had damage.
Okay. So did Max have a tear off as well, or what is that? Just was that an actual failure with the rear brake?
To my knowledge, it was just a failure. I didn't see anything about that this morning about anything landing in there.
Okay.
So yeah, Horner here is saying that Checo had a tear off in his duct, which caused performance loss. So they're saying bad luck. So
Damn, that sucks. Well, they
it's
gotta.
even more egregious that Williams didn't get points.
Yeah, jeez. Well, you win some, you lose some, right, boys?
Or lose a lot, depending on where you are in the matter. But yeah.
Well, Michael, saying it how it is, as always. Can always count on you.
Yes, that's me, Mr. Ray Sunshine.
Did you see my clip for you in the last one? Have you seen it through?
I haven't been able to watch it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, there's just a very much a Michael gets real type countdown that I did. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
Did you see that?
I know. I remember I said that. I was like, yeah, that'd be the time to do it, I guess.
Yeah. So I just.
I don't think we got it.
But it was good. But anyways, we got a week. In between, again, before we go to Japan.
It was early this year.
Yeah, and it's again another Saturday for us. So, I feel like
starting to like the Saturdays though.
I know I'm starting to get used to it myself. But I think
and then it's gonna go to Sunday, and it's gonna be everything's gonna get
then,
fucked.
And then they're in Malaysia, and then or is it Shanghai? I forget where they are.
what I want to do is I want to take a picture. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm trying to find where this Chinese
Oh,
Grand Prix is.
I was gonna say what I want to do is I want to take a picture of one of us up watching at the time with just the glow of the screen, take a picture, and then Steve have you make a meme that's at the top is European people complaining about early races, and then be American F1 fans, and just have just be a goblin watching in the middle of the night,
Have your a comforter on like ET.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my default state.
Yeah, but that's what
That's not a joke. That's my default state.
that's fine. It's a good place to be. I mean, you've just figured it out. But I think it's funny when all the European people are just it's so early. Oh my god, it's so early. I'm just bro,
that's the real colonizer mentality.
early for.
Damn it.
Good lord.
Sorry. That was my little.
Just getting spicy right in the last 30
Jesus
seconds.
Christ. How much coffee have you had, dude?
This is all natural. So
woke
Japanese
up
Grand
this
Prix
way.
is in the evening, and then Chinese Grand Prix is at midnight, and then Miami is at 2 in the afternoon. And then
I know it
back to
jumps
Imola.
up.
And then MLS, then we're back to being up at the crack of dawn to watch these races.
No, right. I was just are you gonna be live? Yeah, I'll be live. Okay. All right.
I almost went to bed. I was 9.
I know.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I was just as I'm falling asleep, I'm just yeah, there it is. Okay, side end. Okay. Good night.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of like, I was doing the. It's almost over.
It's like New Year's. Like, it's
Yeah.
11:52.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
No, man, New Year's is waking up as like, oh, 7 a.m. and I don't care.
Not everyone's as
And-
cool as you,
and
Michael.
You fell asleep at like 9:12.
Michael's a cheater. He probably goes home after work and takes a nap and then gets up at 11 and then celebrates at midnight.
Yeah, basically.
Look at his face.
He
Look
does
at
not
his face.
respond.
He
at all.
knows
Yeah,
it, dude.
he's not the guy that shows up. He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Like, I feel great.
Stop telling my secrets. Oh,
Freaking cheater.
yeah,
That's so
cheater that
great.
I actually like to rest. How dare I?
Yeah, he's figured out the life hack.
Sleep.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
Anyway-
I can't believe no one's talking about sleep. It's crazy. No one ever talks about sleep. I don't get it. I'm the only one who knows about sleep.
yeah, hey, it's your skill. It's your superpower.
Yeah, I just wish people would talk about how important sleep is and how important it is to get, more hours of sleep a day. I wish we'd get that place in society, but we're just not quite there yet, I guess.
So think
What-
nap time.
Oh,
We do.
well, absolutely.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, if you want to work crazy hours, you should have a nap time for sure.
No,
But-
nap time in general. If everybody napped more, the world would be a better place, and that's not even a joke.
That's true. Better moods for sure.
Without question. Better moods, better decision makings all around.
Not everyone.
I would say the majority.
Steve coming in with the reality check.
Yeah, some people in our office
Dude,
are just dicks.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, okay? If we can get enough, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like he's looking for herd immunization. Like, he doesn't need everybody. He just needs enough.
Yeah.
Yes, I just need to herd.
Enough to sway
If
the
some
mood.
people want to not, take part and maybe call themselves, that's their business. But us, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, on that note, we'll catch everyone in Japan, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave us a comment, like us, give us a subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, later. Peace.